My name is Ramona Pillai, and I'm here on behalf of the journalism department. And I just want to know a little about you, about how does it feel to be Tim Simm, the owner of the biggest comic store in Oshawa?
That's great. I've been doing this for actually 33 years at Christmas time, and the business has changed a lot since then. But what's I like most about it, I mean, aside from getting paid, is that I can have stories here available for all different kinds of people. You know, there's a lot in comics besides superheroes and Archies and talking ducks. It's a great medium, and it's a lot of fun to run the store.
It's amazing. Your store is pretty colorful. Was it always this colorful, or how did it take?
Well, no, always. I mean, it's a colorful medium. I have trouble getting people to read my signs because everything I sell is a very cleverly designed sign, essentially, right? They all have logos, they all have words on them. So the comic stores, the biggest difference in comic stores now from many years ago is the advent of graphic novels, where they will take issues and keep them in print, so that older stories are still available for new readers. You know, for instance, Watchmen was published in the 80s. Everybody knows what Watchmen is. Almost nobody ever trades in their issues, so nobody else would be able to read it if there weren't graphic novels.
Makes sense. Where do you get all of your comic stores and your not stores, the comic books and your merchandise from?
What, the new stuff? New comics come from a distributor called Diamond Comics in the United States. They're the largest distributor in North America and have an exclusive with most of the major publishers. So that's where they come from. The merchandise comes from wherever. Some from them, some from other places.
Okay. So do you have a particular age group of people who come here, or is it like a vast variety?
Very wide range. I don't get as many children as you would think. People seem to get into comics when they're in their late teens, early 20s these days, as opposed to when they're
young.
8, like when I was 8 back in '63. And part of that is a reflection of what's in comic books. They aren't all written for children, and they're printed in a much higher quality paper and whatnot now, so they're not cheap throwaway. But basically, my clientele, I would say, my core clientele is from 15 to 65.
15 to 65?
Sure, yep, that would be it.
Oh, okay. And do you see, I mean, me being a girl, I'm not into comics, but do you see a lot of girls coming?
Yes, far more than there used to be. Partly because I think there are far more girls who are interested in comics, partly because I carry a much wider variety than a lot of stores, so there's more things that women are likely to be interested in.
I do see that. And what I wanted to know is, a lot of these Marvel and DC comic movies are coming out now. So when these movies release, is there an increase in your sales because of the movie? Or?
The only time a movie seems to affect comic sales is when it's an adaptation of something that isn't well known. For instance, a new Spider-Man movie does not change my Spider-Man sales. But when and I'll bring up Watchmen again, when the Watchmen movie came out, I sold more Watchmen graphic novels. When the V for Vendetta movie came out, I sold more V for Vendetta graphic novels. You know, other things like Hellboy and whatnot. That's the kind of stuff that the movies will draw people to. I think that the movies of the mainstream characters keep them in the public eye and kind of make them more more likely to sell as an ongoing property. But I don't get that, personally, I don't get that bulge when there's a new movie out.
Oh, okay. So that's a good thing. I mean, for merchandise, I assume maybe when there's new...
A little more of that. Yeah, a little more of that.
Yeah. So, I mean, as the years have been passing by, you've seen your store growing. Could you say that your sales are increasing, or is it coming down with the...
My sales go up every year.
It goes up every year?
Yeah.
Now that there is, I mean, you see comics being available online, merchandise available online, does it affect your store at all?
I'm sure it affects it. If there was nothing available online, I would sell more. I don't doubt that. But I think most comic fans want to come in and look. It's the same reason that, well, you can read digital comics, but most people would prefer to actually have the product in hand.
What is your favorite novel? I mean, your favorite comic here?
V for Vendetta is the best book ever written, as far as I'm concerned.
I remember that.
Every time I'm tired of fiction, tired of reading, tired of comics, I read V for Vendetta, and it's always better than I remember it. I remember it being brilliant.
Oh, okay. And what I wanted to know is, do you have any one of these, old issues, maybe number one issue or something that, people have bids for? Have you ever had this?
Oh, I get old books from time to time. There's a lot of them up on the wall, not terribly pricey, but I have an early issue of Walking Dead on the wall for $300.
Wow.
First issue, that's probably worth $2,000. I had one of those a couple of years ago. Things come and go.
They come and go.
Yeah.
So, my final questions. How does it feel, personally and professionally, to be the owner of such a big comic store? Does it affect your personal life? Is it too hectic, or how does it feel?
Oh, no.
No?
It's a good gig. I do some work here. I do some work at home. I get to set my own hours. I'm old, so that's good. I don't want to be glued to the place.
It's a good job to be old, when you...
Yeah, I have lots of time for my hobby job, so everything's good.
Good. Okay. So overall, your employees, you have a good relationship with all of your employees. Do you have new employees coming in? How is it?
I don't have a huge turnover in staff, but yeah, I think I have a good relationship with my staff. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much for talking to me. Ramona again.